Students, good morning. Myself NB Patil. For this semester, I am conducting electrical circuits for SE, and TC students. Let's go through the teaching and the examination scheme for this subject. Teaching scheme: lectures 3 hours in a week we are supposed to meet. Practicals 2 hours in a week. Course code 204183. Examination scheme: in SEM 30 marks, end SEM 70 marks, term work 25 marks. Credits for this course is total 4 marks. Students, the prerequisite for this subject is first year electrical engineering. This 6 unit is a combination of electrical circuits and the motors. In the first 3 units will go through circuit analysis, and the remaining 3 units will deal with variety of the motors with their operating principles, analysis and mathematical parts as well. So let's proceed further. The course objective for this subject: the knowledge and application of electric circuits are needed in almost all types of industrial and domestic applications, along with many other engineering and scientific disciplines as well. This course begins with various types of circuit simplification techniques using KVL, KCL and theorems, along with transient analysis of RLC circuits and two-port network parameters. The main objective of this course is to foster the abilities of the student to learn various types of RLC circuit analysis techniques and various electric motors and their applications. It also presents the simple techniques of speed control of the motors through armature and the field winding voltage, current relations, along with speed, torque and EMF equations. So friends, conceptual, mathematical and analytical approach is required to deal with this subject. Let's enter with unit number 1, basic circuit analysis and the simplification techniques. Content of the unit: Kirchhoff's current and voltage laws, independent and dependent sources and their interconnections, power calculations, network analysis, mesh, super mesh, node, supernode analysis, source transformation, source shifting, network theorems, superposition, Thevenin's, Norton's and maximum power transfer theorem. Analysis of simple DC circuits using all above techniques, and analysis of simple DC AC circuits using only mesh analysis is expected. Students, in electrical engineering, the approach to deal with the circuit analysis was only DC analysis. Along with R, now we'll add L and C together and we'll proceed further for AC analysis as well. The book recommended for this unit, first one is Engineering Circuit Analysis by William Hatt and Kimmerly. The beauty of this book is self-explanatory. Next book is Network Analysis and Synthesis. Beautiful solved and unsolved numericals you will find in this book. So these two books are sufficient for unit number 1 preparation. Course outcomes CO1 from this unit: what you will understand after completion, what you will be able to do after completion of this particular unit. To learn a number of powerful engineering circuit analysis techniques such as nodal analysis, mesh analysis, Thevenin's, Norton's, superposition, maximum power transfer theorem and transformation of analyze and simplify the electrical circuits. Determine the voltage, currents, power and impedances with given circuit conditions. Test and verify the Thevenin's theorem and determine Thevenin's voltage VTH and Thevenin's equivalent impedance RTH. So what is the difference? What is electrical networks and electrical circuits? So an electrical network is an interconnection of electrical elements such as resistor, inductors and capacitor, transmission lines, voltage sources, current sources and switches. Students, remember, we are not dealing with devices in this unit. Transistor, operational amplifier, okay, diodes, then thyristors. We are not dealing with the devices. We are hardly dealing with 3 elements RLC and their behavior along with DC as well as AC analysis. An electrical circuit is a network that has a closed loop giving a return path for the current. A network is a connection of 2 or more components and may not be necessarily be a circuit. When I say network, it can be anything. Okay, even if I say LAN is a network, but we cannot call that as a circuit, electrical circuit. Okay, So the question mentioned here with this slide, is it a network or a circuit? Yes friend, this is also called as network, this is also called as circuit with variety of the elements, okay, along with some sources and the different values of the resistance. So it is network as well as circuit. So once again the same question, is it network or circuit? Same, it's network as well as the circuit as well, okay. But now the question arises, is it a network or circuit? No, you can see various computers connected to the central server. This is called as network only. So circuit is comprising of RLC elements, okay, that is circuit we are treating over here, okay. So that means all circuits can be network, but all network cannot be the circuit. So before I take you further with analytical approach and numericals and few of the fundamentals related to the electrical circuits, okay, let's understand some terminology for the network theory. जैसे कि circuit element, any individual circuit component like inductor, resistor, capacitor, generator, voltmeter, current meter with two terminal is called as circuit element. Now there are two types of element, active element and the passive elements. What are active elements? Which supplies the power to the network. Example, voltage and current source, transistor, op amps, batteries, signal generators. I want to remind you once again, we are not dealing with transistor and operational amplifiers, whereas voltage or current sources, batteries, signal generators will be the part of this circuit analysis. Passive elements, which either stores the energy or dissipates the energy. Example, resistor, inductor and capacitor. Yeah. Branch. What is branch for a network? A part of a network which contains an element is called as a branch. Network and circuit. What is network and circuit? An electrical network is any possible interconnection of electric circuit elements and branches. An electrical circuit is closed energized network. Junction. What is junction? A point at which three or more branches meets is called as junction. Three or more branches meeting together. Okay, three or more, I said, is a junction. What is node? A point at which two or more elements are joined together is called as node. Yeah. So many times we used to say loop analysis, mesh analysis, okay, but there is a clear-cut difference between the loop and the mesh. Let's understand this. So you can see two loop circuit here comprising of some voltage sources, current source and resistance, okay. A green colored path is shown and one is the orange colored path inside a single loop is shown. So what is loop? Loop is a closed path. So green colored closed path, okay, we can call this as loop, okay. So what about this then? Mesh. Mesh is also the loop which doesn't contain any other loop within it. So this is called as a mesh particularly, and this is called as a loop. That means loop can contains multiple meshes, but mesh never contains any other mesh or loop. Okay, so this is a clear difference in front of you with this slide I want to put up. Okay, let's move further. Ohm's law. Many times I hope from school education we are studying this Ohm's law. Combining the elements of voltage, current and resistance, Ohms developed the formula V is equal to I into R, where V is the voltage in volts, I is the current in amps, R is the resistance in ohms. This is called Ohm's law. Let's say for example that we have a circuit with the potential of 1 volt, a current of 1 ampere and resistance of 1 ohm. Using Ohm's law we can say 1 volt is equal to 1 ampere into 1 ohm. Simple mathematics. And this particular image will help you to understand the Ohm's law. In fact, Ohm's is acting as a resistive element for the current. It opposes the flow of current, it opposes the current flowing through the particular wire, okay, and ultimately voltage is a driving force for that current. Okay. Now, moving further, we should understand when we are dealing with R, L and C, the various combinations of R, L, see when they are connected in series, when they are connected in parallel, how to deal with them. Simple mathematics with diagrams is available in front of you. So series and parallel combinations of resistors. So if R1, R2 and R3 connected in series, simply we add them as RT is equal to R1 plus R2 plus R3. That's all. Okay. And this voltage V is equal to simple, it's the addition of V1 plus V2 plus V3. That's all. This is a split of that voltage equation. Now, when these resistors are connected in parallel and they excited with the voltage source, okay, fine. In that case, the total resistance is 1 by RT is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. Solving this, we'll get RT is equal to R1 into R2 into R3 divided by R2 R3 plus R3 into R1 plus R1 divided by R1 into R2. Okay, friends, you can see here the current that is supplied by the voltage source will be added. Okay, in series voltage will added, and in parallel for the resistance current will add. I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. So simple mathematics and the representation in front of you. The way resistance in series and parallel, okay, are represented, okay, in the same way we'll deal with inductors as well. But before that, let's understand voltage division and power in the series circuit. So for example, you have a diagram here with R1, R2, R3 connected in series, voltage across individual elements labeled as V1, V2, V3 with the supply voltage of V. So friends, if you want to calculate the current for this circuit, by simple Ohm's law will write I is equal to V divided by R1 plus R2 plus R3. That's all. Okay. Subsequently, if you want to calculate simple voltage across R1, okay, so V1 is equal to R1 multiplied by I. Okay. Whereas what is I? I is equal to R1 divided by, so writing this total equation, R1 multiplied by V divided by R1 plus R2 plus R3. So this is called as voltage division. The same way you can calculate the individual voltages across R2, across R3, and their relations are mentioned here. And finally, to calculate the total power, okay, PT is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3. Simply you have to add the power that is available, and that will result the total power consumed by this particular circuit. Okay. So also the same way we can understand the current division and power in the parallel circuits. If resistors are connected in parallel, okay, so the current flowing through any of the resistance is given by I1 is equal to, okay, R2 into R3 divided by R1 R2 plus R2 R3 plus R3 R1 multiplied by I. So in simple way we can say I1 is equal to total resistance multiplied by current divided by R1. So splitting up this further, you will have this relation. Same is true for I2, for I3. So also the total power, once again the same, P1 plus P2 plus P3, and subsequently that can be added. For two branch circuit, if instead of three resistance, if we will have two resistance considering R1 and R2, okay, so then we have to find out the total resistance first. So total resistance is a parallel combination of these two resistance, which results to R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. Okay, so subsequently how I will calculate I1? I1 is equal to another resistance, that is R2 divided by addition of the parallel resistance multiplied by current. So just say I1 is current through R1, so that's why it is another resistance considered R2. The same way, if you want to find out I2, then another resistance, what is that? R1 divided by addition of the parallel resistance connected multiplied by the total current. So simply this way we can calculate the current division and the power in the parallel circuits. Students, we'll wait for this topic here only, and we'll continue in upcoming sessions. Thank you very much.